fail for a grand jury to find any evidence of, and or they rig the presentation of the evidence to the grand jury in a way that legally leads to the officer not being charged. Stop me when I'm wrong. Come on now, we got to be smart about it. Some things are more important than your personal relationships. But I get it. I think a lot of folks quickly assume it must be black. It's black. Yes and no. You know, there's a black male involved. It doesn't make it any easier, right, to go after the officer. I get it. But I think it's more about these personal relationships. Like, you know, they work with these individuals every day. They go to lunch with the officers. They get to know the officers. They know them as real people. They've got these real relationships. And that supersedes and impedes their judgment when it comes to something going wrong. And then here's the other thing. I'm sure it happens all the time where officers are accused of doing things by citizens and there's nothing to it. That needs to stop as well. I mean, I'm sure that's very, very prevalent when you got officers who are accused. And I've talked to officers in Cincinnati. Okay, so I'm transferring information that's been given to me. I'm getting it to you. I've been told it happens all the time. You know, somebody got a problem with an officer. Oh, he did something wrong to me. Never did a thing. It's a tough job. It's a very tough job. And, you know, shout out to the folks who do it, you know, with bravery and courage every single day. They do it the right way. You know, they're trying to be fair with the citizens. They're trying to be good to the neighborhoods they patrol. Shout out to those officers. Okay. But in terms of the overall public good, we need to have more conversation about, again, these various relationships that are leading to these miscarriages of justice, in my opinion, because that's a misjustice. Nobody's going to be responsible. You know, the Crawford family has a dead son. D-E-A-D. Not Hollywood dead where they get up after the director yells, cut. Cut! A real dead. Like, the only time you can see your son is when you go look at his tombstone. It's deep. The Crawford family needs to see him in a civil court lawsuit. Hit him in the pocket. Maybe him live the rest of his life broke. He might be free, but he won't be able to enjoy it. James writes, wrongful death lawsuit, on Richie. I'm scared of the black boogeyman. Yeah, the black boogeyman. Black boogeyman? Man, listen. The people that robbed all those folks with the Wall Street collapse, many of them were never black. That's the real biggie, man. The folks, the fat cats is digging into your pockets on a regular basis, preventing you from early retirement, making your life harder, adding more stress to your life. Telling you, America has targeted the wrong individuals. They really have. Tiffany writes, Richie's girlfriend was crying during the call. She knew he was dead wrong. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. Mike writes, these prosecutors around the country, mostly white males, need to be voted out. That means that people, these smart dumb cats, need to get up off their A and get registered, stand in line, or early vote. I mean, voting has never been easier in the state of Ohio. It's never been easier. And yet you got these lazy individuals. When I hear somebody say, oh, I don't want to vote, making excuses, they're just straight up lazy, man. That's it. They're lazy. Or they're hiding something. Okay? Get your affairs in order so you can at least register to vote. Lazy ass mofo. Tracy writes, what liability, I think I read that. What liability does Walmart have in all of this, question mark? Everett writes, well, we failed to realize prosecutors want to run for higher office, governor, for instance. They use their prosecutorial office as a stepping stone to that position. So they don't want to be perceived as against law enforcement. So that's why they fall on the side of law enforcement 99.9% of the time. Ding, 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 ding. Edward's on to something. Shout out to publicly elected officials who actually care about delivering for their constituents. And it's not just about trying to get some higher office. I mean, how about you are effective in the office that you hold for the constituents that voted on you before you start setting your sights on a higher office? Shout out to those individuals. There's a lot of them around. Like I said, in the city of Cincinnati, there is some good, sharp, intelligent, progressive, bright, young talent on the horizon. And I support them. And we've got some of that talent on city council. I support those individuals. We need that. Brent writes to Mike Jones, some of these prosecutors right here in the city of Cincinnati need to be voted out. Well, I mean, a lot of people like to talk about, Mr. Joe Dieters. And he's been up for re-election, twice now. And if you look at the numbers, people sit at home. You're sitting at home watching Price is Right. You're sitting at home watching, whatever your favorite shows on Netflix. I've got no excuse for grown people talking about it's difficult for a write-in candidate. You write your name in on checks, on ticket stubs, receipts every single day. Here's one thing I know about grown people. If you care, then it'll move you to action. Grown people do what's important to them. I've got no excuse for it whatsoever. Oh, your vote don't matter. Okay. Yeah, miss me with that. Kenny writes, I agree with you, Mr. Ivey, ... No one else called with that episode. He should have been charged. Yes, Mr. Pipemeyer, the special prosecutor who just this past Monday, 2 days ago, he also said that Mr. Ronald Ritchie could have been charged back in 2014. Why wasn't he? It's 3 years ago. It's 2 years ago. Why wasn't he? Why wasn't he? He should have been. What else here? Brittany writes, Nate, all they heard was gun plus black man. That's right. Gun plus black man plus waving it at children. You cannot take that out of the equation. Not when you're dealing with family men. You cannot take that out the equation. And that's one of the other reasons why I believe that Ronald Ritchie was lying. Let me play this again. In the initial interaction between the 911 operator, you can hear in her voice, she's like, okay, and? She doesn't say that, but the tone of her voice implies that. Like, okay, there's a man in Walmart with a gun. They sell rifles there. And that's when Ronald Ritchie kind of felt like, oh, I got to take it to the next level to get the response I'm looking for. Let's listen for it very quickly. I won't play the entire thing.
Beaver Creek 911, where's your emergency?
I'm at the Beaver Creek Walmart. There's a gentleman walking around with a gun in the store.
Has he got it pulled out?
Yeah, he's like pointing at people.
What does he look like?
Does he have it pulled out? It's legal in Ohio. It's legal in Ohio. She's like, does he have it pulled out? Like, okay, is there more to this story? Oh, yeah, he's like pointing at people. See, he had to turn it up a notch to get the response he was looking for. He wanted, what happened to Mr. John Crawford? The more I listened to that, that's what Ronald Ritchie wanted to see. He wanted to see the police respond. He wanted to see this brother dealt with. That's what he wanted to see. Now, maybe he personally felt insecure. Maybe Mr. Ronald Ritchie had been a victim of crime and the perpetrator was a black man. Who knows? Who cares? The man lied. Telling you, G-O-D, revenge is mine. That is deep. That is deep. Well, listen, folks, that's my time. Thank you very much for listening. I will be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., deafer than ever, ready to tackle all the issues of the day. Tell a friend about the show. We go live at 7 a.m. each day. Just tell one person about the show and help me grow this project. I really appreciate you. My name is Nathan. One man, one microphone, one middle finger in the face of sucker MCs like Ronald Ritchie every single day. Wrong is wrong, people. Wrong is wrong. Shout out to my friends at soulpublicradio.com, our first affiliate with the show. And I really appreciate you. You can hear the show on Stitcher. If you've got that app, you can hear the Nathan Ivey Show. Player FM, you can hear the Nathan Ivey Show. Google Play, you can hear the Nathan Ivey Show. And actually, more affiliates are coming on as we speak. I'll tell you more about it. Enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Nathan Ivey. Until next time, I'm out, good people.